Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com. Well, I'm a little scattered this morning, and I'll get to that in a minute. The stock index futures are above fair value, except for the Russell, so it looks like people want to do a little buying at the open on Friday morning. We do have some inflation numbers coming out in a few minutes, and they could certainly help change the direction of the market. Now, typically on Friday mornings, I manually print off some weekly charts just to see how the market's doing coming in to the weekend. We get caught up in the day-to-day action, and sometimes we don't realize that that's having a longer-term effect on the market. And there's really not a lot of that going on this week. I've had a rough week, and so has my friend Bill, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This is Professor Bill Blissett and William, and he's going to be 104 in a couple of weeks. And unfortunately, Bill, who was living at home, working every day, at least 6 hours a day, writing, he fell a week ago and broke his hip. And unfortunately, there's not much they can do for him. So I'm not sure Bill's going to make it to his 104th birthday. He's a neighbor, friend. We share a Globe and Mail subscription. And so what happens every morning is he gets the paper, he reads it, he does the crossword puzzle, then he drops it off at my door. And he doesn't realize that, I get it all online, but him dropping it off at my door after he finished reading it gave us a really good tell on how he was doing that day. And so we wouldn't have to go, check on him first thing in the morning. We could have start off on a fairly normal day and then get to him later in the day and see how he was doing, have a coffee with him, see what he was doing for lunch. But he was very, very active up until he fell last week. And unfortunately, at his age and, being a frail old man, there's not much the surgeons can do. And they certainly don't want to do anything that would try to put him under. So unfortunately, he's in hospital and we don't expect him to come out. If he can last to his 104th, great, but, it'd be nice if he just passed away in his sleep. He has certainly had a full life, and yeah, so we're not doing his obituary yet, but we're getting pretty close, and there's not much to stop what is probably going to happen over the next couple of days. Now, looking at the markets this week, we've got most of them are down on the week. There's the Dow, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, down just a little under 1%. The semiconductors are actually up on the week, making a new high. The TSX is down ever so slightly on the week. Energy stocks up over 4%. It's the financials that are holding the TSX back right now, down 0.67%, while gold stocks are up nearly 2% so far this week. The price of gold up over $65, making a new all-time high. Crude oil was up on the week, not enough to give us a new weekly buy signal, but certainly helped the energy sector. And we had natural gas up slightly on the week. Now, while the major indices are all down on the week, none of them are trading below the previous week's low, and that is a good sign for the bulls. And of course, what we were expecting in the month of September was a lot more volatility and a big push up in the VIX. And so far, we have not seen that. So the market is not trading in its normal seasonal patterns. Now, the VIX made a higher high for this move yesterday and closed slightly higher on the day. We're still not breaking out above the flypaper channel, and the VIX ETFs are just on the edge of a new daily buy signal. Now, I will take that buy signal even if the pros haven't taken control yet. And sometimes what I've done in the past is I'll take the initial buy signal and take a 50% position. And then when the pros take control, I'll go and add to that position. But we are sitting right on the edge of a new daily buy signal for the VIX ETFs. And I hear my dog running in. I guess she just came in from a walk. So little clanging in the background there. Now, looking at the major index ETFs, none of the ones we regularly follow generated sell signals yesterday, but they could certainly do that on Friday. We did have a wide range of ETF sell signals yesterday, starting off with the Vanguard Total World ETFs on a sell signal. A lot of European ETFs run sell signals. There's the European Financial. Japan's on a sell signal. There's the European Stock 50 on a sell signal. We've got the equal weighted S&P 500 back on a sell signal, but not the S&P 500 itself. We've got the next generation NASDAQ back on a sell signal, but not the NASDAQ 100. There's cloud computing, there's fintech, and then if we look at the major S&P sectors, there's communication services, financials joining the banks, there's industrials, there's retail, all back on sell signals as of Thursday's close. Looking at Bitcoin, it continued to move lower yesterday. We've got all the Bitcoin ETFs, all the long ETFs are on sell signals, of course, and then there's the bear ETFs, got a nice up move yesterday. On the TSX, we were able to hit 1719, so hopefully you locked in some profits there. In the US, we're waiting for a move up to 2031 is our next target. And you can see we traded up to the highs from back in August, and we're looking to see if we can break out above those. Then looking at some of the Bitcoin-related stocks, there's Bitfarms trading down to the lower channel line, so a close below yesterday's low would give us a sell signal on Friday. And we topped out. That was a bearish reversal day, which is often marks the top of a particular move in the market, and that certainly happened for Bitfarms. There is Bitfarms in Toronto, and again, we're looking for a close on Friday below $3.45. Looking at Coinbase, we're back on a sell signal as of Thursday's close. We're back on a sell signal for Mara, and we're back on a sell signal, second day of a sell signal for MicroStrategy, making a new low for this move on Thursday. Now, there weren't a lot of trend changes in the most actives from Thursday's trading action, and so I'm just going to look at some charts that I thought were interesting. Lithium America is up across the board. It's shot higher on Wednesday, continued to move higher on Thursday. So congratulations, anyone long that stock. Unfortunately, Transocean fell out of the sky yesterday. It's back on a sell signal as of Thursday's close. A new low for this move for American Airlines, getting down towards the lows from late July. And you can see our next target is 1094. Now, if you are still short American Airlines, I would put an order in at 1101 to buy back a partial position for American Airlines. I'm looking at a target of 1094. You've got to imagine that $11 is psychological support or potential psychological support. So I'd put it in a penny higher, and that's the next point that I would want to buy some American Airlines shares back to cover part of my short position. Freeport fell out of the sky on Wednesday, continued lower on Thursday. There's a Tylenol making a new low for this move, continuing to move lower on Thursday. Then we've got Oracle back on a sell signal as of Thursday's close. We've got CarMax falling out of the sky yesterday. It was down over 20% on the day. Then looking at the TSX most active, same thing. I'm not going to show all the stocks that did not generate sell signals or change trends on Thursday. There's Maya Gold and Silver. It generated a sell signal on Wednesday and then huge fall through to the downside on Thursday, down over 15%. There's a new high for BlackBerry. We traded through the 625 level, so if you had an order in there, it got filled. Now we're trying to get to 703. Personally, I'd put an order in at 699 to capture some more profits along the way, but we can certainly see that back in June, we were able to trade through the 703 level, but I would still put an order in at 699. Looking at Lithium America, similar situation to the U.S. market. Manulife back on a sell signal. I haven't been that interested in Manulife in a long time. Next time Manulife does something like this, that's when I would get interested in looking to buy it. But here we're in the same range that we've been in since the month of May. And so that has not changed at all for Manulife. There's a new low for Air Canada. We've been on a sell signal since the start of September, so no change there. And then looking at Algoma Power, we've been on a sell signal since early August, and we made a new closing low for this move on Thursday. Okay, folks, that's all I wanted to cover in this morning's presentation. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. If you're a subscriber, I'll do a weekend video on Sunday. Otherwise, next time you'll hear my voice is on Monday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theyuptrend.com.